Picture this: the late 1970s. An ordinary Coca-Cola bottle holds an extraordinary secret. This bottle was the key to unraveling a Soviet spy ring operating in the Pentagon's shadow. Unbeknownst to investigators, this American soft drink spoke a language they couldn't decode. This case became one of the most methodical espionage investigations of the Cold War. Since late 1975, the FBI knew a Soviet network operated in Washington. Evidence was circumstantial. Classified documents appeared in Eastern Bloc hands. Technical specs, weapons programs, and military clearances were compromised. This intelligence helped Soviet analysts understand American capabilities piece by piece. In January 1976, Operation Quiet Pasta began to identify the espionage cell. For 2 years, the investigation yielded nothing. No obvious suspects, no foreign contacts. The system was so clean, so compartmented, it left virtually no trace. Agents wondered if they were chasing shadows until August 1978. A CIA source revealed that the Soviet network used Coca-Cola bottles as signal devices. The source claimed that Coca-Cola bottles indicated when material was ready for collection. The information was vague, the source didn't know where, who, or how the signal was used. Somewhere in the nation's capital, a Coca-Cola bottle meant more than refreshment. The FBI team had mixed reactions. It was the first tangible lead in 2 years. It was maddeningly imprecise. The Washington area encompassed hundreds of square miles. Coca-Cola bottles were everywhere, making the task seem almost absurd. The FBI expanded surveillance, watching for unusual patterns in high-probability areas. Agents watched for bottles placed deliberately, not randomly, but resources were limited. FBI leadership questioned the accuracy of the CIA's intelligence after weeks of no results. By late September 1978, Operation Quiet Pasta returned to its previous focus. Special Agent Michael Reeves became obsessed with the case by October 1978. Reeves, a 12-year veteran, was methodical, revisiting evidence for missed patterns. On the evening of October 12, 1978, Reeves had dinner plans. Since its start in early 1976, the case became an obsession. By October 1978, Reeves, 34, a 12-year Bureau veteran, moved to counterintelligence work. Methodical, he kept detailed notes seeking patterns others missed. October 12, 1978, Michael and Abigail had dinner at Angelo's. Arlington, Virginia, near Washington, D.C., hid government secrets. Federal employees filled the population, secrets woven into daily life. At 6:45, Michael and Abigail were seated near the front window. Reeves noticed the Literarium Books shop across the street. Literarium Books, a small bookstore with hand-lettered signs. A Coca-Cola bottle, half filled, caught Reeves' attention. The bottle stood upright, label angled toward the street. The shop owner prepared to close, pulling down the shade. The bottle remained visible, illuminated by the fading light. Reeves felt a shift, a moment of sudden significance. He recalled the CIA report about Coca-Cola bottles as signals. The bottle seemed deliberately placed, not forgotten. The timing aligned with closing, communicating after hours. Throughout dinner, he glanced at the bottle, catching streetlight. Probably a coincidence, but Reeves felt it was important. After dinner, Reeves scanned the empty street. Reeves didn't sleep well thinking about the bottle. 6:45 a.m. Reeves drove past Literarium Books. The Coca-Cola bottle was gone. Reeves felt his pulse quicken. He requested a meeting with his supervisor, Robert Hensley. Hensley listened skeptically, but Reeves pressed the timing. Reeves shared his account with his supervisor, Special Agent Robert Hensley. Hensley, a seasoned investigator, listened with a skeptical ear. The supervisor found the observation interesting, yet easily dismissed. He suggested the shop owner or cleaning staff could have moved the bottle. Reeves emphasized the timing appearing before closing gone by morning. This matched the CIA source's description of a signal. Hensley authorized limited surveillance of the bookshop. 2 agents were assigned to watch the restaurant across from the bookshop. October 13th, agents undercover as a couple dined at Angelo's. They settled in with a clear view of literarium books across the street. The bookshop operated normally, the owner managing the register. At 7 o'clock, the owner closed the shop and began his routine. The agents watched, but no Coca-Cola bottle appeared in the window. At 7:30, the owner locked up and left the shop in darkness. The FBI team maintained surveillance for several random evenings. Each night brought the same result: normal operations, no bottles. By October 20th, the surveillance operation was called off. Reeves accepted the decision, but couldn't shake the image of the bottle. He began driving past literarium books during his off-duty hours. Weeks passed, November arrived, and Reeves continued his surveillance. On December 8, 1978, he drove past the bookshop. There in the window was a Coca-Cola bottle, half filled with liquid. Reeves pulled over, gripping the wheel, realizing it wasn't a coincidence. Someone was using that bottle as a signal, and someone was responding. By 10:30, Hensley had mobilized a surveillance team. The challenge: observing the bookshop undetected. Picture this: a car blending into the night, agents watching. Their view was limited, the bookshop shrouded in darkness. The night dragged on, the Coca-Cola bottle remained in place. Then, at approximately 4:55 a.m., something shifted. Agent Crawford spotted movement inside the darkened shop. A dim light flickered, as if a lamp was turned on at the back. The Coca-Cola bottle vanished from the window in an instant. Crawford noted the time: 4:57 a.m., December 9th. They realized they couldn't see the back of the building. No one had entered or exited through the front door. Access must be from the rear, but they had no eyes on it. By 6 a.m., an emergency meeting was convened at the FBI. The bottle was a signal. Someone inside was involved. They needed to watch front and back undetected. Agent Mitchell suggested renting the apartment across the street. Direct line of sight to the bookshop, possibly the alley. Within 48 hours, the FBI secured a 6-month lease. A small 1-bedroom, perfect for observation. The front windows offered a clear view of the storefront. The bedroom window had a partial view of the rear alley. By December 12, 1978, the post was ready. Cameras with long lenses, detailed logs, 24-hour watch. Observe document watch for the Coca-Cola bottle. Espionage networks operate on their own schedules. The bottle might appear tomorrow or not for weeks. Literarium books seemed ordinary, but secrets lurked. Imagine a Coca-Cola bottle, a silent messenger appeared. The FBI watched, waiting for its removal. Espionage dances to its own tune. The bottle might reappear tomorrow or weeks away. The FBI's task: vigilance. Literarium books seemed a normal business. Ernest Caldwell, the owner, opened shop each day. A seemingly ordinary man. Locals browsed, students studied, dealers searched. The shop served all. The FBI photographed everyone, checking for foreign agents. Caldwell, a former teacher, had owned the shop for nearly 8 years. Background checks revealed nothing. No foreign travel, no hidden income. He lived modestly, attended church. A quiet retirement, it seemed. Surveillance continued through December. Christmas lights adorned the street. Literarium books displayed holiday stories. But no Coca-Cola bottles, Had they been detected? Had the network changed its methods? January 3, 1979. A Coca-Cola bottle reappeared. Agent Quinn activated full surveillance, documenting the bottle's position. Caldwell closed the shop. The bottle remained visible, waiting. The FBI was ready. They wouldn't miss whoever took the bottle. Hours passed slowly. The street quieted. All were alert. 4:30 a.m., January 4th. A dark-colored sedan appeared. Agent Quinn photographed the vehicle, but it didn't stop. 10 minutes later, a figure entered the alley, carrying nothing. 11 minutes passed. They watched the bottle and waited. A dim light turned on. The bottle disappeared. Someone had removed it. The figure emerged carrying a small paper bag, the size of a book. Agents took photographs, but the darkness defeated them. Picture this: a shadow flickered behind the shade, the bottle vanished. Someone inside had taken it. Moments later, a figure emerged from the alley carrying a small paper bag. Agents photographed him, but the darkness hid his face. They couldn't identify him. The figure vanished. Should they follow, risking exposure, or maintain their post? Robert Hensley's orders were clear. The observation post was too valuable to lose. Spooking the network could shut down the entire operation before they knew all. The agents held their position, watching the figure disappear into the darkness. By 6 a.m., the team documented everything: signal, vehicle, figure with bag. They confirmed their hypothesis: bottle signaled readiness. Someone picked it up. The surveillance confirmed the network's operation, but not the source's identity. The courier collected packages, but who was the insider betraying his country? Robert Hensley outlined the next phase: identify who was dropping off the info. The FBI shifted to active identification, documenting everyone entering the bookshop. They noted what people carried in and out, looking for anything suspicious. The team investigated Ernest Caldwell, the bookshop owner, digging into his background. Financial records showed modest income, no unusual deposits or expenditures found. Phone records showed calls to book wholesalers, customers, his daughter in Richmond. Nothing suggested wealth or foreign connections. Why risk everything for Soviets? The theory: Caldwell was recruited, coerced, blackmailed to use his shop. Surveillance continued through January, documenting the bookshop's daily rhythm. The FBI photographed everyone, building a database, looking for anomalies. On January 29th, the Coca-Cola bottle appeared again at 6:50 p.m. The team activated full protocol cameras, recording agents in position. At 4:43 a.m., a vehicle arrived. A figure emerged with a bag. The pattern was identical to January 4th, but they maintained discipline. They cross-referenced visitors before both signals, narrowing their focus. The FBI maintained surveillance, not following the courier directly. The team narrowed their focus, cross-referencing bookshop visitors. They checked visitors before the 4th and 29th of January signals. The analysis revealed about 24 frequent bookshop customers. On February 21st, another signal appeared in the window. The team added this date to their cross-reference analysis. Comparing customers before all three signals narrowed the list to 6. 3 elderly women were quickly eliminated as suspects. A teenager was also eliminated due to his young age. 2 individuals fit the profile of potential insider threats. One was a man in his late 30s with a briefcase. The other, a woman in her mid-40s with a small bag. On March 14, 1979, the man entered the bookshop. Special Agent Quinn photographed him from the observation post. He spent 7 minutes in the shop, then left. The FBI decided to follow him to identify him. They followed him to a house on Crescent Drive in Alexandria. At 6:45 that evening, a Coca-Cola bottle appeared in the window. The correlation was impossible to ignore. Within hours, the signal had been placed after the man's visit. By late evening, they identified the man as Walter Ashford. He worked for the Department of Defense, handling classified documents. He had clearance to access the materials appearing in Soviet hands. The case against Walter Ashford began to solidify. Imagine the most effective spies blend into everyday life, arousing no suspicion. Picture this: April 11th, 1979. Walter Ashford enters a bookshop. He carries his briefcase, spends 8 minutes inside, then leaves. Routine, or so it seems. The FBI faces a choice: wait for the signal or move now to seize evidence. Robert Hensley, at FBI headquarters, weighs the options, the risks, and the potential gains. They've watched for months, identified the source, but need hard evidence of espionage. Hensley decides, execute arrest and search warrants immediately before it's too late. Arrest Caldwell at the bookshop, Ashford at his home, search both locations thoroughly. They'll also try to use Caldwell to identify and arrest the courier the following night. 5:35 p.m. April 11th, 1979. FBI agents approached the bookshop. They waited for a customer to leave, ensuring no civilians during the arrest. Hensley enters, credentials visible. Caldwell looks up, confused by the men in suits. Hensley identifies himself, arrests Caldwell for conspiracy to commit espionage. Caldwell's face pales, he stammers. Hensley reads the Miranda warning. Agents secure the back, ensuring no one hides or flees. The search begins. They search behind the counter, in the storage closet, methodically and thoroughly. An agent calls out from the storage closet. He found it, a manila file folder. The folder is photographed, carefully removed and opened. Inside, 4 pages. Documents bear classification markings, confidential and secret, stamped in red. They relate to satellite communication systems valuable to Soviet military planners. 6:00 p.m., simultaneous arrest at Walter Ashford's residence on Crescent Drive. Lights are on. Ashford's car is in the driveway. Agents knock, announce themselves. Silence, then movement. Ashford appears, alarmed by the number of agents. He's informed he's under arrest for espionage. Ashford tries to close the door. Agents prevent him, secure him, handcuff him, and begin reading his rights. Imagine the scene: federal agents at the door, a tense silence hanging in the air. The door cracks open, revealing Walter Ashford's surprise etched on his face. Accused of espionage, Ashford tries to slam the door, but it's too late. Within moments, Ashford is in cuffs, his rights being read in his own home. The search begins, uncovering secrets hidden within the walls of his life. A Minox camera, a relic of Cold War espionage, is found concealed in a shoebox. Small enough to fit in a pocket designed for discreetly photographing documents. Undeveloped film rolls hint at the secrets captured by the clandestine camera. A coded notebook surfaces its cryptic entries, a record of espionage activities. Dates, abbreviations, numbers. A system for tracking photographed documents and payments. This notebook becomes crucial, revealing the systematic nature of Ashford's deeds. Ashford and Caldwell separated and isolated, face interrogation at the FBI field office. The strategy leveraged the evidence to encourage cooperation, especially from Caldwell. Caldwell, shaken, requests a lawyer, his future hanging in the balance. Advised to cooperate, Caldwell decides to give a full statement to the FBI. Over hours, Caldwell recounts his involvement, starting in early 1976. A well-dressed man named Michael approached him seeking discreet exchanges of documents. Michael offered $500 a month for using the bookshop as a neutral location. Caldwell suspected something illegal, but never imagined government secrets were involved. The money was attractive, a significant boost for a small bookshop owner. The system was simple: a Coca-Cola bottle signaled material ready for pickup. The bottle half-filled angled towards the street, a silent message in plain sight. A key was provided for overnight access, a clandestine retrieval after dark. Caldwell's only task: facilitate the drop-offs and place the signal, no questions asked. Imagine a quiet bookshop closing for the day. A bottle, a signal, was carefully positioned. It was angled towards the street, a silent promise of material ready for pickup. A key was provided granting access to a clandestine visitor after dark. The back door, a gateway to secrets, opened only in the cloak of night. Caldwell's role was simple: facilitate signal and remain blissfully ignorant. No questions asked, no material examined, just a silent exchange in the shadows. Only a few times in 3 years had Caldwell glimpsed the elusive courier. Sometimes the front door was chosen, a deviation from the usual routine. Vague descriptions: a white male, medium build, dark hair, clean-shaven. No distinguishing marks, no memorable features, just a fleeting presence. Caldwell knew nothing of his identity, not even a name, only a shadow. Walter Ashford, the name revealed by the FBI, delivered material for years. Brief pleasantries, minimal interaction, a silent transaction of secrets. A dozen drops, perhaps more, over 2 or 3 years, a web of intrigue. Ashford's response was dramatically different: denial, denial, denial. Espionage, classified documents. He knew nothing, he claimed. A frame-up, a Minox camera, a gift hobby, photography. Nothing to do with codes. The weight of evidence grew. Denials weakened. Silence became his shield. With Caldwell cooperative, the FBI saw a chance to catch the courier. The Coca-Cola bottle, signal, a trap set with meticulous care. FBI agents waited inside, ready to greet the unsuspecting visitor. The courier would find federal agents, not the expected material. April 12, 1979, the operation was set in motion. Everything had to appear normal, a seamless deception. At 6:45 in the evening, the signal was placed just as before. The Coca-Cola bottle, right side, angled toward the street, awaited its visitor. Picture this: a courier following his routine, unknowingly walking into a trap. Federal agents awaited, prepared to intercept the unsuspecting individual. It was April 12, 1979, 24 hours after the initial arrests. The FBI meticulously planned, ensuring everything appeared normal. At 6:45 p.m., a Coca-Cola bottle was placed in the bookshop window. The shop appeared undisturbed, lights off, shades drawn, a scene of normalcy. Inside, 4 armed FBI agents concealed themselves, ready to strike. Their instructions were clear: remain hidden, allow entry, then make the arrest. The trap was set, and the waiting began, each moment stretching into an eternity. Midnight passed, then 1 a.m., then 2. The agents maintained their vigil. 3 a.m., then 4, then 4:30. The courier remained elusive. No car, no figure, no key turned. The bookshop remained empty. By 6:30, dawn broke, revealing the operation's failure. The team maintained surveillance, but no one came. The trap remained unsprung. Had the courier been warned, or was there another layer to the deception? Perhaps a secondary signal, or had the arrest alerted Soviet intelligence? Robert Hensley, acknowledged the frustration but recognized their gains. They had arrested the source and shut down a vital drop site. Classified documents were recovered evidence of systematic espionage. The Soviet operation had been dealt a serious blow. The case against Walter Ashford moved through the federal court system. Prosecutors built a comprehensive case, assembling all the evidence. Surveillance, physical evidence, and testimony formed the foundation. Ashford had compromised dozens of classified documents over 3 years. The documents related to satellite communications and military procurement. Prosecutors meticulously built a case against Ashford, gathering all evidence. The damage assessment revealed Ashford compromised dozens of classified documents. These documents concerned satellite communications and military procurement programs. Ashford's trial commenced in October of 1979 in Virginia. His attorney claimed the evidence was circumstantial and easily misinterpreted. However, the prosecution's case was thorough and compelling to the jury. Surveillance photos showed Ashford entering the bookshop at various times. Documents from Ashford's Pentagon office were found in the bookshop. A Minox camera and coded notebook further implicated Ashford in espionage. Ernest Caldwell testified, detailing the operation of the drop site. Caldwell confirmed Ashford delivered material to the bookshop repeatedly. On November 8, 1979, the jury found Ashford guilty. Ashford showed no visible reaction as the verdict was read aloud in court. In January 1980, Ashford received 25 years in prison. Caldwell, for his cooperation, received 5 years with possible parole.